Hi scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back today with a Scrappy Challenges layout. Now for this layout we are challenging ourselves to use stamps, and if you are new to my channel or you don't know what Scrappy Challenges is, it is pretty much like friends on YouTube getting together and doing Scrappy Challenges and then posting the videos on YouTube. And we do have a Facebook group where we do keep the schedule, and we also can show off our layouts and leave links to our videos. And we would love you to join in. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. You could just make a layout if you want. But this week's challenge was to use stamps. And I have stamps. I've been trying to be better about using them, and I've been collecting them for a few months now, probably like, gosh, I don't know, the past 6 months at least. And so I was excited when one of the gals in our group suggested that we do a stamp challenge. So this is me. I pulled out a bunch of embellishments that I've cut with my silhouette, which I keep in a drawer to the left of my scrapbook area. And I decided, I didn't really want any of those embellishments. So I'm putting them back and just trying to figure out exactly what I want to use to embellish this page. Now I did go through that drawer and I found these wood veneers. I thought they said May, but they actually said March, which is a bummer because these pictures were taken in May. So unfortunately I couldn't use them. That would have been nice to use them up. But then I did go through this collection that I'm going to use, and it is it's called On the Bright Side, and it's by My Mind's Eye. I think it's a few years old, 2 or 3 years. I don't know, maybe 1 year. I honestly don't know. I've had it for quite a while, so I'm thinking probably 2 years old. But there was this banner section on this part of the photo, or on the pattern paper, and so I decided, I'm gonna just cut out the banner. Oops, sorry, I left my volume up. So I'm gonna cut out the banner, both of these banners, and I'm going to string them across the layout in a couple different places. And for this layout, I did get my inspiration from a Big Picture Classes layout by, oh goodness, I think it's Jennifer McGuire, or no, Jennifer Gallagher, I think is her name. She used to be a Two Peas garden girl. But she's teaching a products play class, and so I didn't actually show you her layout because I wasn't really sure if I should, since it was from one of her classes, and you have to pay, to get a membership or to take the class. So I am just going to make this layout, and you can see my version of the layout. Her version is totally completely different than mine. So here I am going to glue down this let's see, this pattern paper. I turned it over onto the back because I like the white side better than the patterned side, and I'm going for that white on white effect. As you can tell, I matted my photos on white paper. I have a white background, and then I'm using the white doily. And at first I wasn't too sure how I would like it. That's how Jen did her whole layout. She only had a couple things that weren't white. Most of her layout was white, and I just couldn't do that. I really liked this banner, and I wanted to do this banner. So mine is going to have a lot more color than her layout did, but I still end up liking it. So I'm, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to start gluing down these banner pieces, and I'm just going to glue it down in that top right hand corner right above the photo. And I really like that, but I feel like it needs something else, like it's missing something up there. So I realized, oh, I have these, recollections doilies. So I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to glue down this doily. I'm also going to have to pull up the photo a little bit to fit it in there. And I really, really like how that looked. So I'm really happy with that. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Oh, I was pulling out a stamp. So This challenge is to use stamps, and I was thinking, um, so I like these photos because my boys found these hats and they're winter hats, but these pictures are obviously taken in summer because my one son down in the bottom photo, he's wearing shorts, right? So it's May, it's like the end of May, and they're wearing these winter hats, and I just thought they were so cute. So I pulled out this stamp that says warm wishes on it, and I was like, oh, that'll be perfect. Like, it's kind of a Christmas, but it's also summer, so you're warm and you're wishing, having warm wishes. So I stamp it in 5 places around the layout. I really do not like how any of it turned out. I should have just stamped it in one place, but for some reason I just felt like that wasn't enough. So I'm gonna kind of scrap this side of the layout and turn it over and start over. And then I remembered I had these transparencies, and I really, really liked the idea of including a transparency, and it was gold. And so it would definitely stand out against that white background. So here I'm going to cut out this other banner. And I'm leaving a little bit of a border around the banner, and I really like how that looked. I didn't want to have to be so perfect with cutting and worrying about getting so close to the banners, and so I was just kind of cutting it, a teeny tiny little bit away from the banner, and I really, really like how that turned out. So for this one, I'm just gonna have it run across the bottom of that top right-hand photo right there. And this is where I decide, okay, I don't like this doily being down there. It was a nice doily, it just wasn't fitting in with that top doily, and I really liked that top doily. This is also where I decide, nope, I really don't like the Warm Wishes stamp that I used. So here I'm pulling everything up, turning it over, and I'm just gonna glue everything down again. And it works out really, really well. And I'm really glad that I decided on doing that because the way it turns out looks so much better than the way I was going. So I did stamp on that bottom photo a little bit, so I did have to rub it off, but it rubbed off pretty easily. So here I'm just placing down the other part of that transparency. Then I'm going to glue down this banner. And I'm going to kind of fuss with that for a little bit. I was trying to get it to go underneath the photo, but that wasn't really working. And so then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to cut it off and I'm just going to glue it. So here I decided to use my Tombow Aqua Glue to glue down the banners. And I was thinking I was going to have that long arm go all the way up to that other banner, but I'm going to end up actually cutting it off. I'm going to cover it up with this My Favorite little tag, and then there I cut off the rest of it because it just looked awkward. Like, what is this random line coming from this banner? So here I decided to pull out another silhouette cut file that I had used, and it's just a tag. And I also used this It Was a Great Day little embellishment piece that came with this On the Bright Side collection. Now here I'm going through my stamps. I have my stamps in the bottom right hand drawer of my scrapbook desk, and a lot of them are close to my heart stamps, but there's a few that I have that aren't. And so here I'm just kind of pulling out a bunch of stamps that I'm thinking will work. So I'm just gonna sit there and do that for a little bit. There's this one that was from Stampin' Up, and it said, "You make me happy," and I thought, oh, that's perfect. And so I'm going to stamp right on that transparency with that Stays On ink. I'm also going to stamp it in a bunch of different places. So one is under that My Favorite tag, and then one is above that top right hand banner. And then I'm also, let's see, did I already stamp it? Yeah, I already stamped it down in the bottom left-hand corner under that transparency. And so now, let's see, what am I doing? Oh, I'm using this, it's a chevron arrow. It's just 2 arrows in a row. And so I'm going to glue down that It Was a Great Day little cutout sheet or piece, and then I'm gonna stamp this chevron arrow set 4 times, and I'm gonna do it there. Then I'm also gonna do it on the transparency, and then I'm gonna do it right above that my favorite tag to the right of that right hand photo. And now here I'm just gonna clean up a little bit. I still use my Stampin' Up! Scrub pad. I don't even know what it's called, Stamp and Scrub or whatever. And I do have the bottle for the Stampin' Up! Mist stuff, but it actually just has the Recollections brand of stamp cleaner in it right now, which you can just buy at Michael's. Okay, now this was an idea I had, so I thought, well, I could do some embossing. So I don't even remember which stamp I used now. So I pulled out a couple different things of embossing powder, and I didn't really like those colors. So then I remembered, oh, I have these other colors that are from Martha's. I think they're Martha Stewart. They might be actually Recollections. And it had like this kind of purplish blue, and I was like, oh, that kind of goes, you know, with the color scheme. So I'm going to use this. Yeah, it's not embossing powder. It's totally glitter. And after I do this, I'm like, what? How did I not know that this was glitter? Like, ugh. Anyway, so I stamp it 2 places on the layout, and I go to heat it up, and it's like not heating up, and I'm like, what is going on? And then it dawns on me, oh, it's glitter. So yeah. Oh, the stamp says warm wishes. So I had another stamp set that I believe I bought that one from Close to My Heart, but I could be wrong. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so I pull out my heat gun and I'm going to start trying to heat it, and it's going to do nothing. And I'm just like, what is going on? And sorry about my head. So I spent a little bit of time and I'm like, why is this not working? And then here I'm going to kind of clean it off, and I realize this is not embossing powder. This is glitter. So then I think, well, it's going to totally come off. So I go and get hairspray because I'm like, oh, that'll work. But I totally spray way too much on there, and it like creates a puddle, and so the glue, or not the glue, but the spray, whatever it's called, kind of comes out. Then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to use Mod Podge. So I kind of lightly, very lightly spread some Mod Podge over on this left-hand side, and that didn't work either. You could still kind of, like, it still kind of kept coming up. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just done. We're just not going to do the warm wishes thing. So then, let's see, I don't know what I do. I think I'm probably just off, being like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into here? So now I'm thinking, okay, what else can I do with this layout? It needs something more, and I'm just not sure. So I believe I pull out the little pack. It was like a punch apart sheet, and it came with a bunch of punch outs. So I'm pulling those out, and I'm gonna make a little cluster up here where I had that horrible disaster with the glitter. And so I'm just kind of sticking a couple things up there. And then, let's see, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I think I'm going to do my title next. So I'm going to go over to where I keep my thickers, and I'm going to pull out a couple different kinds because I couldn't really decide on what color to do or what size to do. So I really, really love these alphas, both of these alphas. This pinkish one is from Dear Lizzie, and here I'm just turning it over and over and trying to spell out words without, you know, having to pull the whole alpha out. And this is when I realize, okay, this pink one is going to have enough. And I mean, it's kind of like a pink, but it's kind of red, so I was okay with using it even though there's not really much pink in these patterns or in the papers. And so, but it doesn't look bad at all, and I really like how it turns out. So my title is going to be Winter Hats and Play in May. And I probably could have just had it be Winter Hats in May, but I just really liked having the play and May rhyme together in this little title. And so that's why I decided to do it that way. Here I'm just trying to figure out where I can place the title. So I'm thinking I'm going to have it go down the page, but I don't really like the way that ends up looking. I feel like the title needs to be closer to the photo over there on the left-hand side. And so I'm just going to kind of play around for a little bit. Finally, I decide I like it down here with the word winter right next to that chevron arrow set of stamps. So now I'm just going to start placing down the title, Winter Hats and Play in May. And then after I do that, I believe I'm going to stamp the date. And my new favorite stamp, I actually probably got it a couple months ago. It's the Project Life rotary date stamp, and it just has the date on it. It doesn't have any phrases or anything like that, and so I absolutely love it. Because when I do my date stamping, I don't normally put a phrase with it. Like, sometimes I will, but I would rather just have just the date on it. Especially sometimes like this, you'll see I have a couple places that I put the date, and both places are just kind of small areas, and so I like being able to put the date in smaller areas. So here I am just using my Tombow Aqua Glue to glue down that alpha and make sure it's secure. Now I'm going to clean up my alpha a little bit and put them away. And I'm cutting off the excess on that little embellishment piece. And then I think this layout is done. Oh, now I'm going to do the rotary date stamp. And I apologize, but I did not get to take any photos, and I'm just going to finish this layout without putting the photos in here. So I apologize, and I hope you guys are okay with that. I will try to do a post on my blog and leave a comment below so that you can see close-up photos of it and everything. I just am trying to keep up with life and everything that I want to do and everything that I need to do, and so I'm trying not to stress too much about things that I don't get done. So if I don't have photos on a video, I apologize. I'm hoping that it won't become a normal thing. I just needed to be able to get this done and not feel stressed about it. So here I'm just finishing gluing on the title, and then I'm not sure if I actually show you close-ups. I think I do bring the layout up to the camera so that you can see some close-ups, but then I will just catch you guys next week. Hopefully I'll be able to get another layout done. I'm not quite sure. I think next week, since it's a holiday week, we're just gonna kind of do a freestyle, so you guys can just do whatever kind of layout you want, and so I'm excited about freestyle. That'll be fun. So yeah, here's some close-ups, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.